All right, I am going to attempt to show you how to do the sourdough bread without my camera person, and I don't have a real tripod or anything, so this could get interesting. So, sourdough bread, we're going to start by weighing the water. We need 215 grams of water, just slightly warmer than room temperature. So this recipe weighs out all the ingredients, which I actually like because it gives you a more consistent result. So 215 is what I need. There we go. And then here you can see my starter, and I put the rubber band on there just to see, so you can see that it has grown. I fed it this morning. I did some baking. I made some banana bread for my kids for breakfast, and it uses like discarded sourdough starters, so when you need to feed your sourdough but you don't want to double like the full amount that you have, then I use like a cup of the sourdough starter to make banana bread, and then I feed whatever is left. That is a great way to avoid having massive amounts of extra sourdough starter. So, I don't know, can you see how nice and bubbly and nice that looks? We're gonna add 120 grams of starter to the water. Okay, we've got a little extra there. Which isn't a huge deal, but there we go. All right, so from here, I'm just gonna use my Danish dough whisk, which some of you might have seen this morning, but it's this cool swirly thing. Just try and get the starter dissolved in the water. Just makes it easier to mix everything all together. Okay, now I am going to start adding flour, and I am using freshly ground whole wheat flour that I have in a Ziploc bag. Whenever I grind too much for a recipe, then I'll just store it in the freezer. So I need 50 grams of whole grain flour, let's say, so either spelt or whole wheat. Freshly ground is always best if you can. If not, just use what you have. You could use all white as well if that's what you have. Okay, and I forgot to take my white flour out of the pantry, so I'll just grab that. And I need 270 grams of white flour. I'm actually probably going to start with, no, I will do the full 270. Sometimes I find that it's a little on the drier side, and I don't like that, but we'll see how this turns out. I can always add a little more water too. Okay, so we're done with the scale for now. So now I'm just going to mix. Try and get all that flour incorporated with the starter and the water. And yeah, just like I thought, it does feel a little on the dry side. I think because the air is still very dry here where we live, and the flour is also extra dry, which is fine. You just gotta learn kind of what you want your dough consistency to be. I'll show you what this looks like when I'm done. Alright, there you can kind of see what it looks like. Just a shaggy mess of a dough. Okay, now we're going to let this sit. I'm going to cover it with some plastic wrap, and we'll let it sit for 30 minutes to rest before we add the salt.